Welcome to Urban Homestead Radio, preserving a homegrown way of life and inspiring others to bring the revolution home. Thanks to the support of our sponsor, Lehman's. For over 60 years, they have provided practical, non-electrical tools, appliances, and home goods. When technology fails, their products will certainly work. Check out their website at lehmans.com. That's LEHMANS.com.
Let's go down to the Urban Homestead, Pasadena.
Hi, homesteaders. I'm your host, Anais Dervaes, from the Urban Homestead in Pasadena. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Nancy and Phil Halpin. Let's see, it must be almost 8 years now since you've showed up at the homestead one day. It's all started, I believe, when the local singer-songwriter Duane Thorin invited you to come. And Nancy showed up with this humongous bass, and then you guys played some music in the front yard, and then eventually you became an important fixture in our Sunday Hootenannies that were like about 6-year run for that, and you would play, many favorite songs that would lead the audience and to sing along. So, yeah, thank you for joining me today, and I want to I want you to share with our audience a little bit about yourselves and how you came to join our Homestead and Hootenanny family.
Okay, I know the exact date.
Okay, well,
I don't know the year, but it was July 4th, and that's when Duane called us. We already knew Duane, a local friend of all of ours. But anyway, he called and said, "You guys got to come over. You'll love these people. They're organic, they homeschool, they're musicians." So we came, and that started it in the front, and then they had to move it to the back because my bass was too big.
Too big, yes.
So
you were
we
straddling, I think Dad used to like to tell the story, you're straddling rocks and amongst the lavender or something like that. So
well, it added a lot of charm to the place.
It did.
Yeah, we enjoyed that very much. We would open their Hootenanny playing some old standards because Phil he's a old-time crooner. So that would start off the evening while they were seating people and people were
Yeah, like you'd warm up the audience.
Warm up the audience.
There we go. That's what you were sort of like the warm up, and then it got to, you led into then it became all ruckus and hoots and hollers and
and then we said, "See y'all later." The old folks.
That's when Duane would come in.
It was kind of a free for all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe tell a little bit, because you guys have been doing music for a long time. How did you get started in music? And I know you were, I know and then you would I remember you telling me stories about, you guys, would sing with your kids and local local places around town. So, maybe tell a little bit about yourself and how you started, on your musical journey.
Okay, well, it started 50 years ago. This year's our 50-year anniversary.
Oh, congrats.
Wedding, so yeah. But when Phil came to my high school, I saw him in the talent show, and I had just taught myself how to play guitar. So that started that. He didn't know it, but I knew it. That was it. That was it. So then we've been playing together ever since.
Nice.
Even with our children, we had a family band for a few years.
Yeah, and your son's still playing music? And I guess and professionally, and he was on PBS and things like that. So I could consider a successful musician. So
totally,
yeah.
Bettman and Halpin.
Yeah. So say it again so that our audience.
Bettman and Halpin.
Okay,
yeah.
So you can check that out. That's Luke Halpin is your son. So check him out. I got our chickens cackling in the back. They're just laid an egg, so they're letting you know. So,
I love it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then Phil. Here.
Yeah.
Say a couple words.
Yeah. Say how'd you become music? How'd you get into music?
Well, I was kind of a failure in high school.
Okay.
But my parents probably somehow knew that I needed something, so they bought me a guitar, and it did captivate me. So I kept listening and trying to play the silliest little things, and then I learned how to get a hold of a record and figure out how those guys are playing the song.
So basically self-taught, is that pretty much?
Pretty much. When I could afford it, I'd take lessons here and there. But that process was such a blessing to me. I was always grateful to my mom for putting up with it, because she didn't like the music. It was just top 40 radio. But excuse me.
But your dad, that's the big influence.
Well, and in a way, the bigger influence was my dad, because he used to listen to Perry Como. It was on TV, actually. This is when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I was captivated by just the sound of that voice. And then a few years later, he brought home a couple of records of a singer that he just loved, and I used to love to listen to that. I was captivated by the sound. So I do attribute a lot, well, to my parents. It encouraged me, and then the fact that I wasn't good at school, it filled in that gap.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of joy out of learning these songs, and then by the time I was a senior in high school and I met Nancy, I kind of switched over to the folk type music, and that's what it made my life. It made me happy.
Yeah, and speaking of, you answered a couple of questions. So, Perry Como as being one musical influence. So in the folk, so those were musical influences in your sound and your songwriting. And then you also mentioned, I had one of the questions of, why do you think music is important? Like you said, it brought you joy. You were maybe not doing well at school, and music sort of gave you purpose. So tell us a little bit more about that, because that's what I think, and I believe, and our family and even Dad believed, is music is an important part of life, and that's why we opened up our place to concerts and hootenannies and things like that. So tell us, why do you think music is important? What does it do for your soul and for just an overall I guess uplifting experience for you, or not? What if it how does it affect your life and emotions?
Well,
both. You can want to hear from both of you.
Go ahead, Nancy, you first.
Well, as you were saying, my answer was
okay.
But now that we've gotten older together and we've been through a lot, a lot of people suffer, and then you work through it, and so a lot of our music we write has to do with our life. But what we're doing now is to write to the audience, to try to write our songs that they will feel, to help them feel hope. Just people need hope. And
I
agree. That's
especially
one of our,
more so now. So.
That's one of our goals, is to, because we do go out and play for folks.
Nice.
I have another reason for doing music, because it's fun.
Yeah, that's good. It has to always be fun.
Well, and most of life, like at the Homestead, I've had a chance to be around here enough, and it's like a lot of work. So
farming is a lot of work, yes.
Yeah, and which is a good thing, because we thrive but you need both. You need lots of good work to do, and you need to have fun. You always have to be looking forward. Whether it's, for me, it's every day. I go to work, but I look forward to, I can go home and sing some of my songs.
But you remind me something of the Dervaes. They are our adopted children.
Exactly. I have to also say that, yes, you're adopted. I guess you would be sort of parents. Parents, because you're not grandparents. You're more parents. Yes, you're.
How about aunt and uncle?
Well, aunt and we always talk.
Adopted family.
But when we would come here, and we would see how you guys would come alive at the Hootenannies. I mean, it was beautiful to see, because you work so hard, just like what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, like your dad. I have beautiful memories. I think it was quite a blessing for him.
Oh. Yeah, it was. Everybody remembered his smile. Like I said, it was hard work. It was a long thing, but like I said, that music kind of got you through a long, hard day. And
when you know it's coming next weekend or a couple of weeks, it really helps a lot. Anyway, I think it's one of the important things of life is to have fun. And music is one of the best funs there is.
It is. And I miss it. I mean, for our listeners who maybe don't know the whole story, but those Sunday Hootenannies were every Sunday for almost 5-6 years, And unfortunately, in 2016, not only did we suddenly lose our dad, but we also lost 4 key or pillars of the Hootenanny, or the heart of the Hootenanny musicians. So 4 musicians, Rob Sandiford, Duane Thorin, and Tom Fair, and then Ed Pausic?
Oh, yeah.
So we had lost a lot, and our dad. So how did those?
Well, do folks, only because you made me think of this, because when I listened to a little podcast before I came, just to kind of get in the mood, you know.
Yeah.
When I heard Tom's voice, who does their theme song, one of the 4 we're talking about, tearing up.
Yeah.
To hear his voice again.
Yeah. So if you don't know that, Tom Fair, when you hear the song at the start and the ending, Tom Fair is the one that wrote that song. He would sing it at the Hootenannies, and he also is passed too. So yeah, as you said, you know, dads and their deaths really affected us, and we couldn't really start a Hootenanny after that. It's been quite a few years. We did some kind of short, smaller ones with the musicians that were left, but it just didn't have, I mean, it had the same thing, but it didn't have this, you know, it's kind of a hard thing to describe. And maybe you can describe like what that night felt like. I mean, the energy and the electricity.
Well, it was in his song that they hear every day, whenever they hear the podcast. That is the Hootenanny.
That is the Hootenanny.
It is.
Yeah, so that's perfect.
Well, I remember sitting in the back of the house is a raised porch, and it sort of serves as a balcony for the little area that we had, the Hootenannies, and they had all kinds of lovely lights, and I remember just sitting there. I said, "Phil, pay attention. This is beautiful. This is really beautiful. Don't miss it." And then one time I told your dad, you know, I think he appreciated it, because you know you can take stuff for granted.
Yeah, no kidding. It's yeah, it is. It's I think what we appreciated was, because we knew it was hard work, and sometimes we didn't appreciate it as much. But when we saw you and the audience and the musicians appreciate it, that helped us understand how important it was. Because, like I said, when you're in it, you kind of don't see. You just see the work. You see, you know, the challenges, and you know, dealing with all musicians' egos and trying to make it run smoothly.
I forgot about the ego.
Yes.
Yeah, but there was one thing. I got great joy of seeing you and Jordan and your dad and Justin just stand up there, and you're playing that incredibly beautiful auto harp that you, and it was, I think you were enjoying it.
And we had the privilege of singing with you.
Yes, and that you made us
that was
comfortable.
very special, yeah.
I do have to say that. I was going to bring that up, so thank you for saying that. Yeah, you guys encouraged us to actually be part of the Hootenannies, not just, you know, serving the people, seating the people, running the thing. You were vital in bringing us on stage and making us, I wouldn't say an act, but making more comfortable, confident singing. And we would sing the garden song, inch by inch, row by row.
Right, and we had the lyrics on the table, so the whole place could join in. It was really wonderful.
It was really wonderful, and it became like, you know, it wouldn't have been a Hootenanny if we hadn't, you know, we didn't sing that song, sort of thing.
Right,
we get up and sing it, because, you know, and people got to, and that song meant a lot, you know, inch by inch, row by row, you know, going to make the garden grow. That was a perfect song for us. And then you know, encourage us to, you know, when you come on Sundays to check in on us, you encourage us to sing. Encourage
won't stop.
Yeah, you won't stop. Encourage me to pick up the auto harp, and
I
you
will
won't
say
stop.
that a few times we've come, and Anais is doing her thing, and I say, Anais, let's play a song. Get your auto harp. Man, she go get that auto harp. I said, she really likes this.
I do miss, actually, I have to say, I do miss the Sunday Hootenannies, because it gave me a chance to, you know, singing is a muscle. And so that gave me you know, to sing out loud in front of people. I got practice that way, and, you know, and haven't done that in a while. And especially with the COVID, you know, that's not going to happen for even more of a while. So I do miss that, and I do miss being inspired by, you know, seeing you guys play, seeing, you know, likes of, you know, even Adam, you know, Kolikoff doing his mandolin, and all the, you know, people who'd stop by. And that would,
Okay, next time we come by, pull out that.
I know, I have to. Maybe we'll do a special one with just us, our music at one of these podcasts.
Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah,
for
we
you
should do
guys,
that. Yeah, we'll should maybe do that. So, yeah, so and music is important, like you said, now in joy and hope. Tell me a little more about that. Is because I know you guys are very spiritual, and you believe that you need to share. I think you've had many discussions with my dad. We're given a lot, and we want to share. And I think you guys have that same sort of principle. And then, tell me a little bit more about that. Is this like how you bring that into your songwriting and your lives? How does that kind of interweave?
Well, I would say, and maybe I'll say it this way.
Mm-hmm.
For our 50th anniversary coming up in October, we're hoping to do we're planning on doing this as a concert of our life.
Nice.
And it's just the songs that we've written through our life, because our life isn't that different from other people's.
No.
And I was sort of nervous about this, but we have had a couple sorrows in our life. Two of our children were babies, and so we have 2 songs about them. But I thought, should we not? Well, yes. This is life.
Mm-hmm. Life is hardship.
We have some sad. We have sad, but they speak to people about hope still. So hope through your sorrows. Mm-hmm. You might be depressed. Let's do the happy one. So that's what we try to do, is use our life in our songs to bring the hope and joy.
Yeah, and you did. You definitely did, and you still are doing. So
and
that's
you might
great.
Have some to add,
yeah, Phil, do you want to add something to that about?
I just like to watch Nancy when she starts talking and singing. One of the blessings we've had in all these years, for me, is just been to see, you might say, my wife blossom. And maybe it was 15 years ago. No, it was about 20 years ago. She picked up that bass. And anyway, it means a lot. It sounds really good.
Yeah, and maybe tell me about more. That's why I find it fascinating too. And I always love to see, families who do music, husbands, wives who do, partners who do music together. It seems to be, it could work either way. It could work or could not work.
It's
it
true.
could go either way.
Well, even at our stage now, where our kids were born, we had a family band.
Yeah.
We had the family band, and we worked hard at that, and we were good for a little family band. We would play around at senior citizens, and we did some women's clubs, and just around Southern California. But our big claim to fame was that we did get to Disneyland with the kids, and that was really nice.
Cool.
But at that time, I would play the banjo in a song. I'd play the guitar, back and forth. But then the kids started leaving, and then finally we were down, like Luke was on a guitar, Phil was on a guitar, and I was on a guitar. That was too many guitars.
Yeah.
So a friend of ours recommended the bass because he knew we had it in the family band. So
nice.
that there's like a progression that kept happening. I don't know if that answered any
Yeah,
question.
no, that did. Yeah, no, that did. Because like I said, it's your musical journey. You're evolving.
Yeah,
as in life.
Right.
Things. You're not the same. You're not singing the same songs, same things you were maybe 10, 20 years ago. You're evolving, and so is your music. So that's what I find fascinating, because I think it's, to watch people,
Well, I wouldn't have thought of the bass.
Yeah.
But we were playing, down in South Pasadena, that little coffee house in South Pasadena. And anyway, a friend of ours recommended this, and I really respected his opinion because he was like practically blind. So he had really good ears. But he heard us playing, and he goes, Nancy, I know you got that bass at home, and I bet you not only would it look cool, he said, but it would really sound neat with our little. He could hear our stuff that we did, and he played also. So,
Well,
but anyway, that was the switch on that. Yeah.
That's been so beautiful. It's such a blessing. But I did want to share that our songwriting, which we always had some of it really blossomed I'd say in the last 5 years. And it's really, the part I really like to share is that it blossomed because we both, we collaborated. sort of learned, and little by little we were able to collaborate. And Nancy has wonderful ideas that I wouldn't think of, and I almost like to think of our little life, the singer-songwriter thing of a husband and wife, is almost like an icon of what marriage, what the Creator intended. You know, but it's hard because you got to figure out what people can do, and slowly you figure out how you can mesh your talents together. So
we figured that out because it was my turn to be in charge.
Oh, there you go.
So
speaking of that, we want to share a song with our audience.
Absolutely.
All right.
Are you ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay.
I think we'll do like one or two songs. So
I will announce I do not have my bass.
You do not have your bass, unfortunately. Yes. So.
Okay. I really like singing this one at the homestead because
Especially.
it seems like it goes right along with this beautiful homestead. I like to say the homestead is happening, and I have lots of reasons for that. Okay, here it goes. Lately, I've been thinking people need a little space to grow some onions and zucchini and take a break from the old rat race. I think everybody needs a garden, a place to water and hoe, and get down on your knees to watch the veggies grow. Thinking and wondering about whatever you believe. You could start right in your kitchen, and in a jar you can sprout a bean, and soak a big old sweet potato on the windowsill till it grows leaves. And pretty soon you'll be a gardener, eating fresh tomatoes and pulling weeds, and thinking things you never thought of, like, I wonder what came first, the pumpkin or the seed. I think everybody needs a garden, a place to water and hoe, and get down on your knees to watch the veggies grow. Thinking and wondering about whatever you please. And as the seasons come and go, you'll have a place of grace to go, where you can always say hello to your garden angel. Oh, everybody needs a garden, a place to water and hoe, and get down on your knees to watch the veggies grow. Thinking and wondering about whatever you please. Watching the birds and the bees. Check out my carrots and peas. Might get some dirt on your knees, but you know I believe everybody needs a garden.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Did you guys want to do one more, or?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do one more.
Thank you for asking.
Because you don't have time to do.
What?
Since we talked about our 50th, we have a new song.
Okay.
Could you do it?
If not, then you can come back. How about that?
We'll come back.
Okay.
But
Okay,
I'd rather stick with this one. Being striving to be artists, musicians, there is an aspect of it which is true for many artists, and that is we tend to be kind of poor. And so we're trying to, we in seeking.
Farmers too. No.
Yeah.
Right, because you love what you're doing, but in seeking to do what we do, we came up with this song. Ready? 2, 3, 4. I know you and I've been living on a shoestring for so long, but you say, hey, we're doing pretty good.
Very good.
And when I think of all the times we've had and how we get along, well, I'm not sure we'd change much if we could. Cause getting by with you is making a game of making do and taking time to enjoy what we can do. We start the barbecue and watch the rising moon. Sure is fine getting by with you. Do you remember that blue Ford pickup?
Love that truck.
Used to break down all the time, but you just laugh and open up the hood.
Pop the hood, baby.
Got it. And then we'd work on that old engine till we get her running fine. And the feeling that we fixed it sure felt good. Getting by with you is making a game, making the do, taking time to enjoy what we can do. We'll sing a song or two, serenade the rising moon. It's a treat so sweet, getting by with you. I don't know just how we do it, but we always get through it with your laughter and your beautiful smile. While all the while we getting by, me and you. We're just making a game, making do, and taking time to enjoy what we can do. So let's eat some barbecue and sing to that big old moon. Sure is fine getting by with you.
Thank you. That was lovely.
Yeah, well,
yeah, especially now. We all have to we're getting by, right? Getting by, day to day. So we've come to the end of our podcast. That was a quick, went by really fast, that's for sure. So how can people follow you? Do you guys have a website or anything that you want to share, or so that people find out?
We do. It's nancyandphil.com.
Perfect.
And that's about it on
That's
the
right, yeah.
social.
You spell and, right? Nancy?
And A-N-D.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. And Halpin, you want to spell your last name?
Oh, yeah. Or we don't do Halpin on
Oh, it's just Nancy and Phil. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah,
You don't want
so
to
Nancy
conflict
Phil.
with Luke.
That's right. That's true.
We don't want to trade on
Well-
the family name.
There we go. So I'll put that in the description. So for
Okay.
that. So thank you so much for joining me. It was a
You are
pleasure to
welcome.
have you both. And again, thank you for the friendship and the support over these last 8 years. It was an amazing journey and still is. So we appreciate that and appreciate you checking on us every
Thank you.
Sunday and giving us pep talks and listening to us rant and cry and things
But we
like
love
that.
you.
So we
do.
love you too.
We
so
love you very much.
yeah, and so continue. I hope you guys continue making music and continue spreading hope. And Thank you for sharing your musical journey with us, and we'll hope to maybe have you back, and hopefully after this COVID thing happens, we can have a hootenanny, and it'll be one heck of a hootenanny. So
God bless you.
yes,
And God bless America.
yes, and God bless everyone, each and every one of you.
Each and one of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's go down to the urban homestead, Pasadena by the freeway. Right down there on the urban homestead, Jules and his family are working away.
We love to hear your feedback or questions. Visit us at urbanhomestead.org to check out what's happening on the homestead. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And until next time, keep on growing.